What if I told you the most dangerous place in Manchester isn't the pitch, but the exit door? They say you don't know what you've got till it's gone. But for the Old Trafford hierarchy, they simply cannot wait to say goodbye. The clock has struck midnight for 7 souls whose time at the Theatre of Dreams is reaching its bitter end, according to Team Talk. The Red Devils have identified a 7-man clearance list, a summer fire sale aiming to recoup a staggering £100 million. This roll call of the departed features names that once carried the weight of the world: Jadon Sancho, Tyrell Malacia, Manuel Ugarte, Joshua Zirkzee, Andre Onana, Rasmus Hojlund, and Marcus Rashford. Let us look closer at the ruins of these reputations, starting with Jadon Sancho, a man who arrived for £73 million as the golden boy of English media. But a romance that promised everything is now a tragedy nearing its final curtain. The current campaign has been a ghost story for Sancho. Exiled to Aston Villa on loan, yet the spark has failed to ignite. His fitness is a question mark, his physical presence is ghost-like, and the statistics tell a story of a plummeting career. At Villa Park, he is a peripheral figure, a man lost in the shadows with no road leading back to the United starting 11. The board's patience has evaporated. Stone dry, his contract bleeds out at the end of the season, and the club will not trigger the extension. It is a cold, calculated move to amputate the wage bill and fund targets that actually possess the hunger required. As one fan brutally put it on social media, "End it now, spare us the misery." "A catastrophic failure of recruitment," wrote another, suggesting that a contract release is the only merciful act left, for keeping him is merely burning money in the wind. Cutting ties with Sancho is a statement of intent, clearing the stage for new actors. And next on the list of the invisible is Tyrell Malacia. The Dutch fullback has become a myth at Old Trafford, a knee injury so severe it seems to have stolen his very essence, leaving his contribution at absolute zero, while the club continues to pay for a man who does not play. Football is a cruel mistress, and for Malacia, the romance has turned into a revenue drain. Transfermarkt records a haunting statistic: just 2 appearances in the Premier League this season. And when you're being paid to be a ghost, the exit is the only certainty. The fans are fuming at the sight of a ghost player taking up space, demanding an immediate purge and a fresh face at left back, because in this game, if you don't stand up, you are stepped over. Then we come to Manuel Ugarte, the man signed to be the enforcer, the steel in the spine. Yet his season has been a forgettable blur of mediocrity. He has failed to grasp the mantle, his anonymity on the pitch growing with every heavy touch, suffocated by the relentless velocity of the English game. Misplaced passes have become his trademark. A passenger on the bench, a bit-part player in a theater that demands leading men. The Premier League is a furnace that has melted his composure. With duels won at an embarrassing low, Ugarte has failed to justify that €50 million price tag. His presence often leaves the United midfield porous, a fragile shield that crumbles when Casemiro steps aside. Now the club has marked him for an urgent sale despite a contract that runs until 2029. The hierarchy is looking to the son of Spain to recoup whatever coins they can from this failed investment. Currently valued at €30 million, the verdict from the stands is unanimous and unforgiving. "Too slow, too cumbersome," says one disgruntled soul. "Sell him while he still has a price tag. An anchor who cannot swim in these waters is a liability." And so the Ugarte experiment ends as another expensive mistake. Next, Joshua Zirkzee, the man who cost £36.5 million in 2024. Arriving with the weight of expectation only to deliver a hollow echo, 20 appearances across all fronts, and a desolate return of just 2 goals for a marksman at Old Trafford. Those numbers aren't just poor, they are an indictment. Even Fabio Capello used him as a warning of Serie A's decline, asking, "Do you even recognize the player we loved?" In Italy, he was a maestro of his own time. But in England, time is a luxury he doesn't possess. The ball is snatched from his feet before he can even dream of a touch. Rumors whispered of a return to Italy in January, but he remained only to provide minor improvements that failed to move the needle for the coaching staff. The online reaction is scathing. Stats of a center-back, they mock. Selling him back to Italy to cut the losses is the only logical conclusion. Then there is Andre Onana, the £47 million replacement for a legend, tasked with filling the vacuum left by David De Gea. The 29-year-old's early months were stained by catastrophic errors, a primary reason United were dumped out of the Champions League at the bottom of a group they should have dominated. There was a false dawn. Save of the Month awards in September and November hinted at a rebirth, but December saw the Cameroonians' form collapse into the abyss. error after error against Nottingham Forest, Victoria Plzen and Wolfsburg, a downward spiral that the club simply cannot ignore. The nadir came against Brighton, a routine cross, a fumbled clearance, and Jorginho Rutter was gifted the easiest goal of his life. The hierarchy has lost faith. The favoritism of the Ten Hag era is dead, and with names like Gregor Kobel or Suzuki in the crosshairs, Onana's time as the number one is crumbling. The hierarchy has lost faith. The favoritism of the Ten Hag era is dead, and with names like Gregor Kobel or Suzuki in the crosshairs, Onana's time as the number one is crumbling. He is a punchline for the rivals, a goalkeeper who offers no security, a liability who fumbles the simplest of tasks. And at Old Trafford, if you cannot provide peace of mind, you have no future. Then we turn to Rasmus Hojlund, a £72 million investment that once flickered with the flame of promise. 16 goals in his debut season suggested a star was born. But the 2024-2025 campaign has been a cold shower, a mere 10 goals and 4 assists in 52 appearances, figures that are simply subpar for the spearhead of Manchester United. His old-school style feels like a relic in the high-octane furnace of the Premier League, outpaced and outmuscled by the modern defender. Now on loan at Napoli, he has rediscovered his Midas touch in the slower rhythm of Italy. 14 goals that suggest his heart belongs to the south of Italy, rather than the grey skies of Manchester. With Benjamin Sesko now the preferred solution at Old Trafford, a £44 million permanent move to Napoli is on the horizon. Yes, it's a financial loss, a bitter pill for the board, but they are prepared to swallow it to make room for fresh blood. The fans on X are divided but decisive. Selling at a £30 million loss hurts, but it's necessary, says one. He thrives in Italy because it's slower. Let him go, says another. United are finally acting with a heart of stone, cutting their losses to rebuild a shattered empire. Finally, the enigma that is Marcus Rashford, the most controversial name on the list after a rejuvenated spell at Barcelona. 10 goals and 13 assists in Catalonia, numbers that suggest the world-class talent is still there, burning bright under the Spanish sun. But the bridge to Manchester is smoking. The relationship between Rashford and the United hierarchy is beyond repair. A Cold War that has reached its endgame. Barca want him permanently for £26 million. But their bank account is a graveyard of debt, and they are begging for a discount. But the Red Devils are holding their ground. No compromise. Pay the release clause or walk away. United are reclaiming their status, refusing to be bullied in the market. It is about pride and prestige now. The fans have spoken. I don't care if he scores 50 in Spain. Take the $26 million and close the chapter. It's a tragic end for a boy who grew up in the shadows of Old Trafford. But sometimes, a clean break is the only way to heal. Manchester United is undergoing a surgical overhaul, cutting away the dead wood, the wasted wages, and the broken promises. The summer sun will see an exodus at the Theatre of Dreams, £100 million to be recouped, a squad to be reborn. But is this the start of a new era? Or just another expensive mistake? Who is the one player United will regret selling the most? Drop your verdict in the comments, and if this is the football analysis your soul craves, hit subscribe and join the BallPulse family. We break down the beautiful game every single day.